I'm Scott Berry with Roland US. I'm here to show you the BK-9. For a great deal on the BK-9, be sure to check out the bundles here at Kraft Music. The BK-9 is the flagship. It's the top of the line. Below it is the BK-5 and then the BK-3. There's also a module, which is the BK-7. Now, what a backing keyboard does is it accompanies you with your playing, so it's a full band behind you. Again, we have 10 different genres of music to pick from. We have over 1,000 music assistant songs to play against that are based on most popular songs. How it works is we have the options to have intros, endings, and variations. And what this is that we can have 4 different types of intros, 4 different types of endings, and 4 different variations. So, for example, verse, chorus, bridge can be different variations. There's also an auto-fill-in button that basically fills the transitions. All right, let me give you a couple examples of how it works and what it's about. With the intros, since we have 4 different types, I'm just going to show you the extremes. I'm going to show you the simple, which is 1. I will hit the intro and I'll hit the start. And that's it. We're ready to go into the song. If I select 4, which is a more extreme, a little bit more going on intro, you'll see it's a lot longer. When this blue light goes out, that's when it's done. Have a little bit more to it. And you can see it stopped right there. So that's the difference. That's the extremes. Real quick, right into it, right out. The endings are identical, and I'll just give you a kind of a middle of the round ending on a minor chord, and you'll hear a difference. So basically what we're set up to do here is we have sync start. Sync start means that basically the second I touch the keyboard, it will start to fire off. We also have what's called sync stop. So sync stop would be, you see how it works with that. So I'll set up for sync start. I'll just play a little bit. You kind of get an idea, and then we'll go through a couple of variations. So here we go. Okay, so basically we're going to do almost the same thing here, the variations, the 1 through 4, but this time we're going to use what's called a one-touch feature. By hitting the one touch, I will change the variations. I will also change the sound that's in the right hand. So check it out. We'll just go through it real quick. We can layer up to 4 sounds or 4 tones at one time, which is the first in the BK series to be able to do that much. It can be used as a regular keyboard. We also have a dedicated organ and piano mode. Simply by pushing the organ mode, going into the H bar, we've got dedicated drawbars that can be controlled. Having the dual screen is fantastic for extra information, such as being able to see what type of overdrive we're running, and if the rotary is fast or slow. We also have a section that we can hold favorites. So basically, since we can layer 4 separate tones, each section, upper 1, upper 2, lower, and the M bass, all can have their own separate favorite sections. So that's 4 banks of 10. There's also a 16-track sequencer on board that you can use to build rhythms, just create your own song. Each track we can go in and we can mute or select to make any edits or changes. This is also great for doing things that if we had a melody track that we wanted to remove. Here's another great feature on the BK-9. It's called chord loop. And what it allows us to do is record our passage of whatever our chord progression is. Where this is great is that if we've got some sort of complex melody going on in the right hand, we can't do it, it will continue to play on. So check it out, I'll show you how it works. The BK-9 can also do KAR files, which are karaoke files. If the lyric information is on board, you can also display it on the screen or have it go out to a separate monitor. It will also show you the chord changes if you would like to play along. I want to show you one of the apps that are designed for the BK series that will work with the BK3, the BK5, and the BK-9. It's called the BK Partner, and it's a free app. Now keep in mind, everything that I'm going to show you can be done within the keyboard. The iPad app just makes it a little bit cooler. That's all. So we can select any of our tones directly and have them load from the iPad. So it's nothing more than a controller. So going into anything, we can find stuff a lot quicker. We can also do this with all the rhythms. And considering that we have 10 different genres to pick from, this makes it a lot easier. The other option we have is performances. And performances can be our own data that we've saved, created how we wanted our changes or our one-touch features. But it will also bring in the music assistant. And the music assistant has over 1,000 songs that are based on popular songs with different names that are similar, if that makes any sense. But anyways, that's how we can go through it, and we can pick it, and it will load all that data immediately. So it's fantastic. But check this out and how cool this is. I also have my variation buttons here, my intro, my ending, my start and stop, and a keyboard. I have the option to run the backing end or a tone, so I can actually solo off of this. Think of this where it could be important. If you were a singer and didn't want to touch the keyboard, you can have the iPad up by you and control the keyboard from there without having to reach around. So it's really kind of a cool thing. So you can see real quickly, I can just select a chord, 2 or more notes, and boom, I've got a chord going. I can change variations. So just another cool way of doing things. There are 2 different ways we can connect the iPad to the BK-9. We can do it with the USB with the camera connection kit, or the optional wireless adapter. Now I'd like to show you another app that we have called the BK Editor, which is actually the performance editor. Inside this app, we can control several things like levels of each tone that are set up in a live set layer. We have parts editors so that we can change things like octaves per each one, which is extremely easy to do on the iPad. Again, you don't need the iPad. You can do everything inside the machine. The iPad just makes it a little bit cooler. We have an MFX editor, so we can control things like EQ and which effects that we have running. There's tone editors, so that we can just grab this tone that's in that layer and change that. Hands control, adding other things, and foot controls. take a look at the back panel of the BK-9. First, we have our stereo outs, our stereo ins, and a microphone input that also has a switch for phantom power if needed. Next to the audio connections, we have a metronome out and 3 foot pedal connections that can be assigned to anything that you want. Next to that, we have the FC7 connection. The FC7 is a foot pedal that can control things like the variations and one-touch features. You'll find the FC7 in some of the bundles here at Kraft. And finally, we have MIDI, in, out, and through, a USB, and a display out for displaying things such as karaoke files, lyrics. Once again, I'm Scott Berry with Roland US, here with the BK-9. Please feel free to contact anyone here at Kraft Music if you have any questions. And again, thanks for watching.